Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, we won't need that yet. Okay, this camera's gonna be a problem. Okay, basics. Jump with the X, attack with the Y, crouch with the right, crouch with R2. You can move around like this, and press the attack button to do a ranged attack like that, which I use pretty often when I first played this game. The early on in the game, you won't need to do any of that crap. This game isn't that hard. 60 FPS. This game was hot stuff back in the day, man. I'm pressing the right stick in for a map. What are my missions? This isn't an open world game or anything. Yeah, it's a corridor shooter. It's a corridor platform. So basically, just go in the direction the game tells you to go, and occasionally deviate from your path to pick up stuff. I don't think I can reset these controls. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying I have to adjust to it. Yeah, controls. First person targeting with the L and R. Okay, crouch with the R. Okay, that's fine. Quick select with the... We won't be able to use quick select yet. Fire a weapon. We don't have any weapons yet. At least we don't have any consumable weapons yet. We'll get to that. Nope, we're fine. So I can't readjust the camera. Yes, I can. Okay, so press the L and R buttons to readjust the camera. Okay. This is in that interregnum between Mario 64 and Call of Duty when camera controls started to make sense. We weren't really there yet. I don't think Call of Duty was the first game to get it right, but this is one of those games that came out on the PS2 where it's like, okay, we haven't quite perfected it yet, but we're getting there. And it wasn't so bad in this game compared to Mario 64, so that's saying something. Because Mario 64 was like, okay, half of the challenge of that game was figuring out how to deal with the camera. As opposed to a game like this where everything's kind of kept right in front of you. So it's not quite Crash Bandicoot where it's like, yeah, your camera's always behind you. Or occasionally to the side of you for 2D stuff. But it's one of those games where it was manageable. You can move it around, but it was manageably so. Oh, dead. Okay. Yeah, I know there's an entire generation of gamers for whom this is their Mario. And I'm not going to say I feel bad for them, but, you know, I grew up with Mario 3, so a game like this is good, but I'm not going to... I don't want to be that guy, but who says my childhood's better than yours, but... This game's good, but it's no Mario 3, I mean, come on. Although I think I like these two games equally. This game is a lot more linear, so it's not so bad. As a platformer, it's actually very well done, as I recall. Not sure how well it holds up. Just a second. By the way, I do have Sunset Overdrive on the Xbox One by the same studio that I'm going to need to get back to eventually. I need to go back the other way. There's some loot that I missed. Whoops! Stupid. That was incredibly stupid. Anyway. As I was saying. These guys, you know, they weren't I won't say they were as well known as Shiny. But Insomniac was pretty dope back in the early 2000s. As far as animation goes in these video games, it was actually very good. This is about as close to AAA gaming as you can get in the United States, as I recall, back then. Well, you know, Call of Duty was out back then too, but it was, you know, a bit more traditional, you know what I mean? It was a more traditional corridor shooter back then. It wasn't the blockbuster blunderbuss that it is now. Well, you know, shooting up airports and stuff. Hollywood storytelling. Let me confirm something here. This game looks like Fortnite, am I right? Yeah, let me go to the map. Right stick. Okay, so I'm gonna go north and then make the fork in the road. That'll be fine. Yes, that's the way I came, so we're fine. No, this is the way I came, I'm sorry. Well, let me get some loot. Apparently, if you know what you're doing, you'll be able to farm, you know, bolts, which you can use to buy weapons and ammo. So depending on the paths you take, I'm sort of curious how this game handles the economy. You know how some games are. So they give you loot, but sometimes they give you too much. So you can basically become overpowered very easily. Remember, I pressed the L1 button to reset the camera. So if I go like this, the camera resets behind me. And if I hold the button down, it's a first-person view, which is actually kind of cute. And you can throw your wrench in first-person view too. So it's a ranged attack. Handy. And these are things that, you know, I want to say your regular developers back then didn't really catch on to yet. So the fact that this game was doing this camera stuff well was a big advancement. Because I mean, really, if you think about it, how many games actually did a good job, you know, using this dual stick analog control with the camera? How many 3D platformers actually did it well? It's actually a very good question. Can I get up here? I thought I could double jump. Oh, I don't have Clank. Yeah, I need Clank to do the helicopter jump. Just a second. This might be a one-way thing. Yeah, might be a one-way thing. Give me a second. It's not an open world game, but it's a lot of stuff like this. Forks. It's a linear game with forks in the road, which is fine. Not dead. I want to make sure I don't swing my hammer with so much momentum that it takes me off the platform. Yeah, I'm always worried in some of these games when you attack, you fall off a platform. Is that a checkpoint? Let me get the first person view. Okay, yeah, I don't want to fall. Yeah, the camera controls are inverted. Ugh. I really wish I could... Let me see if I can invert these camera controls. This is supposed to be a research stream, but you know. Yeah, can I invert these camera controls here? Pressing the left stick doesn't do anything. Select button does the same thing as the R1 button. Controls. Yeah, I want to see if I can invert these. I don't think I can, actually. Camera. Yeah, here we go. Reverse up and down. Reverse left and right. Camera rotation speed. Let's make it faster. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's do like... Yeah, it's Just Cause 2 level stuff, yeah. So now I can move the camera around like Just Cause 2. Which means it's perfect. You know, make things easier on yourself. I guess back then the paradigm's a little bit different. So I think Japanese games had one paradigm, and American games had the other paradigm. I don't know if European games picked one or the other, but apparently it was a thing where it was like, you know, I guess some gamers in Japan were used to inverted camera controls, like flight stick camera controls, and North Americans weren't, I guess. I'll check that out. Apparently there was some kind of design principle that in one continent, gamers were used to one kind of camera control and Americans were used to the other. But at least a game like this let you split the difference. Hey, choose the one that works better for you, right? Okay, throw that. There we go. I think that's half as strong as a regular melee attack. So I guess I'll check that. Let me use my regular one. Okay, so I think that jumping attack does double damage. You can't really do an air attack, you just kind of do a dive. It's like a dive kick, basically. Do I have a bomb glove? There we go. Press the circle button to equip it, and there it is. Oh, there's a reticle right there. See? Pretty handy. There you go. Okay. This game's pretty easy to pick up. Unlike Persona 3, which is going to take me like 5 hours to figure out how to play that game. Because I've been playing for 2 hours, I haven't been able to do any combat. Well, like there's like one combat sequence in the first 2 hours of the game. It's very story heavy. But then again, so was Valkyrie Profile. That's one of my favorite games of all time. You just have to know going in that, yeah, the first hour of this game is text reading and a bit of walking around. As long as you know that going in, you'll be fine. Let me get some more ammo for that. I don't want to use any more of this bomb glove. Hold down the triangle button. Yeah, there it is. So I have 27 bombs left on that glove. So I'll be a bit more conservative with that. I mean, eventually, once I learn how the game works, I'll be able to have a bit more fun with this stuff. But I'm going to be conservative for now and just, you know, abuse my axe right here. My ratchet axe. That was a pretty hard cutscene load. Especially for a PlayStation 3. Remember, this game was developed on a console that had, what? 64 megs of RAM, I think? What did the PS2 have? I think they had, like, what, 8 megabytes of video RAM back then? I mean, jeez. games had very limited memory back then. You had to utilize streaming, make it work. Of course, this game isn't an open world game. It's a... Well, I thought I changed the voices here. Okay, these guys are in English. I thought I changed it to Spanish, but that's okay. Yeah, I kept the subtitles on, just in case. Readable text. Who'd have thunk it, right? Yeah. The cutscenes in this game actually aren't too bad, all things considered. I think in a sequel you're gonna see a Britney Spears cutscene a bit later. It's somewhat inappropriate, but we'll get to that later. And I know if you're curious, yes, they did make an animated feature film based on not this game, but one of the PS4 games. And apparently they actually took the cutscenes from that game and put them into the movie, or the other way around. Yeah, they took cutscenes as part of the movie and integrated them into the game, like the Star Wars games did, and like Naruto did. They just integrated cutscenes from the show into the game. Of course, the obvious problem being that the movie story is meant to stand on its own, whereas the game has to kind of band-aid and duct tape and graft all the gameplay elements around the cutscene, which is kind of weird. In other words, if you do it well, you don't have to think about it. But in that game, it's pretty obvious where the movie ends and where the game is sort of duct taped around the cutscenes. Super Bunny Hop did a very interesting video about that, actually. And that movie gets a bad rap. I'm not gonna. Okay, let me put it this way: it's better than Dougal. Okay, here's a better example. It's better than half of the Disney movies I've seen over the last decades. Maybe that's saying something. But it's not good. It's pretty much a Saturday morning matinee cartoon that's feature length, which is fine for what it is. You go in expecting a movie for like 8 to 12-year-old boys and maybe their little sisters, I guess. But it's back in the 80s they made a lot of animated movies that were a lot more cloying than this. So I'm not gonna bag on a movie like this for being not Pixar. I mean, if you ask me to choose between this and a Shrek sequel, I'd rather watch this movie. I believe it was actually directed by Kevin Monroe, who did the animated Ninja Turtles movie back in 2006. It was the CGI Ninja Turtles film that was done over in Hong Kong. I believe was it Imagix or Imagine, whatever. I forget what the name of the CGI studio was, but they did it out of Hong Kong. The animation wasn't bad, but the camera work was actually exceptional, I thought. This is probably a bold statement. I compared it to De Palma, which is basically the way he would zip the camera around between characters during action sequences is actually very, very, very fascinating. He's not exactly Spielberg when it comes to controlling light and things like that. But when it comes to choreographing camera work, I thought Kevin Monroe actually has some juice there. So I think with a bit more money and a better story, he could do, like an Incredibles sequel. I'm not suggesting he's as good as Brad Bird. I'm just saying that if you give the guy a bit of money, he's shown that he can actually direct action sequences. Now, can he direct, conversation sequences? I don't know. We'll get to that. Not all animation directors are good at directing humans. As anyone who's seen anyone who's seen like a mediocre anime action film will tell you that. Some of these guys are really good at directing action, but when it comes to conversations, they're not so good. They can't do subtlety. They can't do, they can't do mannerisms. They can't do gestures. They can't do body language. They can only really do action. And that's fine for some people. You just got to know what you're good at, Yoshiaki Kawajiri can do action, but I don't think I want him to do a soap opera. I wouldn't want him to direct Escaflowne. But Miyazaki, I'll let him direct anything. But not everyone can be Miyazaki. Maybe Satoshi Kon could probably do a soap opera. I mean, if you saw a Paranoia Agent, he can definitely do that. I would argue he's not an action director. He's a director of men. Although, unlike J.J. Abrams, he's not incompetent when it comes to framing and things like that. So we're not going to talk about that. Basically, I said that about J.J. Abrams. He can direct people, but you don't want him to direct spectacle. You want him to direct people in a room talking and, you know, having beer. But guys like Satoshi Kon, he can do beer, he can do psychodrama. I'm not sure he can direct an action sequence. But he doesn't have to. Well, he's also not with us anymore. But guys like Miyazaki can do both. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I haven't seen enough. What's the guy's name who directed Your Name? And 5 centimeters a second? Was it Makoto Shinkai? Yeah. I want to say he can definitely direct human drama. But I'm not sure he can do action sequences yet. So we'll see how it goes. Miyazaki's just one of those guys who just seems to have everything. And when he's no longer with us, we're gonna need the next Yonabashi. Is that the guy's name who directed Arrietty? We're gonna need the next Miyazaki to be someone who can do humans and action. And I'm curious to see where that goes. Of course, how did I get on this tangent? Well, I was talking about Kevin Monroe, who may have been involved in this game. And if he wasn't, he probably got involved with... I know he's a video game guy. And, you know, in Hollywood, if you directed video games, it might mean that you worked at, you know, Infinity Ward, I guess. I don't know. Doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just... Okay, Okay, so I am saving. Okay, I remember this music. 36 bombs. Not gonna use that yet. I'm just using my axe, whatever. Okay, map. Did I already search that entire area? View missions. Okay, exit. So should I go forward or should I go back? Let's go forward a bit.
Hello, citizens of...
Sorry, didn't mean to see that. Play the info bot. Okay, that's what's going on. That was a cute touch, though. I mean, this game isn't that dumb. It's got a bit of a brain in its head. Give it some credit. Got some bit of AI to him. Well, I need more health. That's what those little blue circles are. Those blue orbs. Well, there should be some over there. Yeah, over there. There we go. Like I said, this game isn't hard. I want to say the checkpoints are pretty generous. Okay, 1 bomb glove ammo. So how much do I have now? Got the full max. Okay, it's not gonna abuse this thing. Of course, what do I shoot at? Plenty of bolts, but this is not a Lego game. Trust me. This would get very boring in a hurry if this were a Lego game. Okay, I can't go in there. That's okay. But again, this game is very well designed as far as like the layout and the maps and the art direction for this. I mean, this low poly look is actually very good. I want to say it runs a little better than the PS2 version. I'll double check some videos on that. But this is one of those PS3 games I've always been meaning to pick up, but the price was always too high for me. I mean, I don't like Ratchet and Clank games that much. But I got this at the library. This game is actually courtesy of the Carroll County Library System of Maryland, so they'll give me a chance to play this game, see if it's worth keeping a bit later. Okay, I got all that. So I got to abuse these bomb gloves right here. All right, bomb glove. One bomb takes him out. Eat it. AI doesn't have to be that sophisticated. Given these tiny areas, they just have to be placed in the right spots. You know what I mean? You know, it's old school game design. You know, didn't have a lot of memory back then. Couldn't do a lot of AI nonsense. Processors weren't that fast. So, in a game like this, you just kind of made the enemies, you know, well placed. They didn't have to be sophisticated. They just had to be well placed. But again, this game isn't that hard. And the game isn't really about being hard. I mean, I remember... What game was it? Yeah, Sunset Overdrive was actually kind of notorious for being kind of difficult, because some people just couldn't keep up with it. And all the grinding and the aiming and all that was just kind of hard to do. This game kind of keeps everything, you know, small and manageable. Everything's kind of in front of you. So it doesn't try to overwhelm you the way Sunset Overdrive sometimes does. I mean, enemies are faster in that game. They hit harder in that game. They take more damage in that game. So this game's a bit more manageable. Okay. I'd be curious to see what a Sunset Overdrive game would look like on a PS2, now that I think about it. Knowing what they know now. But this game, could be... I mean, obviously you can do this game on the PSP. If you fudge around with it. See, the character animation in this game is actually pretty good. You look back on... Like, I was playing MDK, a few days ago, and it was like... Obviously, MDK just... Where are the subtitles? Obviously, MDK couldn't do animation on this level back then. But this is probably what Shiny was trying to get at back in the late 90s. Because obviously in the mid-90s, they were going for that, They were going for that 2D, fully animated cartoon thing back then. Like Disney's Aladdin on the Genesis, or Earthworm Jim, games like that. Jungle Book, Lion King, Cool Spot to some extent when they were with Virgin. It's this idea that back then you could do canned animation. So a game like Cuphead was kind of designed to look like those games. Cuphead is like, okay, this is what Earthworm Jim was trying to do. But now we have much better, graphics. Now we have much faster processors, much more memory. Let's just do what Shiny was trying to do with all those 2D games. Just go to the wall with it. I mean, Rayman could have done that, I guess, if they had committed to the bit. But Cuphead came out last year, and it was like, look, this is the kind of game that they were trying to do back in the 90s, but the technology just didn't allow it. And it's arguably what Dragon's Lair was ultimately going to be. Although, of course, Dragon's Lair was actually an animated film with interactive bits. And Cuphead is actually a video game with fully animated, sprites and things of that sort. So the animation cycles are a lot longer, they're a lot more complicated. The backgrounds are completely animated. In other words, back in the mid-90s, animated backgrounds might be something like Street Fighter 2. The backgrounds would be, 2 or 3 frames of animation, things like that. Of course, these days, backgrounds can be actual cutscenes. So you'll get games like Cuphead where a cutscene actually becomes the background. Or you can animate characters in the background so well that they might as well be from a Dragon's Lair type game. So this arguably is what Don Bluth probably could have done with today's technology. If you were willing to make a 2D game instead of a 3D game. Because Cuphead wasn't trying to be 3D. It was just kind of keeping everything confined to a 2D space. And everything was done based on that 2D technology and the 2D engine. You can't really do a game like Cuphead in 3D unless you have a lot more money. Let's just put it that way. Although you could make it look like this with, a much bigger animation budget. Pyrocitor. Not going to buy any ammo. No. I'm not going to buy that. I don't want to buy this crap. I can't sell anything either. Just a second.
I got some great bargains for you today.
See? I'm telling you, this is I think what Shiny could have done if they had the technology and the budget, I guess. But obviously, I mean, I think if they were to redo MDK, it might look closer to. Well, it probably won't look like this, but this is probably closer to the animation quality they would have wanted, I think. Can I swim? Good. This isn't like Naruto. No, Naruto couldn't swim. Ninjas can't swim. Guess that'll be the name of my last video. Oh, you have to open the door by running, by twisting this, right? Yeah. Hold down the square button and... Whoops. Okay, well, I opened it, so that's what matters. Yeah, Dante's Inferno did that, too, which I thought was kind of a cute bit. I wasn't aware of it at the time. But yeah, they did that bit, too. So we're going to circle back around. Okay, so this is how you get to that. This is how you get to that question mark over there on the right side of the map. Okay, so it's all one big corkscrew, whatever. Like Phantasy Star. Remember Phantasy Star 2 did that corkscrew crap? Yes, I will get back to Phantasy Star and Streets of Rage 2 and all the other Genesis games I haven't gotten to yet. I did a big Genesis run when I first started doing this channel. I'll get back to that. It's an evergreen. I mean, there's always an excuse to play Genesis games, isn't there? I said I was going to play Far Cry 3, but you know what, I'll probably just, whatever. No rush. I got too many games here I'm trying to sell. So I'm trying to burn through them as quickly as I can. This is a library game. It's just a game I wanted to revisit. I've always been meaning to do Ratchet Clank games. And the Jak and Daxter games. So we'll be doing some more videos of that shortly. Yeah, maybe some Dark Cloud 2 later. But I can't bring up my PC. It's too hot. It's getting to that time of year. And I really need to get back to doing that Fallout in real life video I've been meaning to get to. Because remember, I live here in Germantown. I live near the Germantown police headquarters. So, you get to see what Fallout 3 really looks like before the apocalypse. Although that might be an evergreen too, considering your worldview. That might actually be a something something foreboding. Okay, we're done. Okay, we've already established that. Okay, so we'll go back this way. I got distracted. Okay, I pressed the triangle button so I can see all my health up there on the top of the screen. So my health is full. Do I have to go underneath one of these rocks? I think I do. There it is, down there. How do I go down? There we go. I had to press the square button to go down. It's been a while since I played this game. Don't sass me. Press the X button to swim up. There I am. Alright. Imagine getting stuck on this level because of that. I barely saw that. Yeah, I barely saw that hole in the water right there, that tube. Yeah, Clank's with me. Why can't I do the hovering thing? Okay, there's my double jump. It's more of a somersault, really. Yeah, I thought I had my hovering. I thought I had my helicopter. Maybe it's an upgrade for later. Okay, I can't break that mushroom. Yeah, thought I can get some bolts out of that. Because everyone knows mushrooms have bolts in them, right? Bolts and fire flowers. Okay. Break out the ratchet. Yeah, so I have to hold down the square button and rotate my controller to do that. I think it was counterclock? It was counterclockwise. Okay, where's the way out of here? This camera's a lot better. I'm glad I changed that. Okay, we probably have to go underneath again. There it is. Okay. Again, good transparencies. Remember, they did this on a PS2. The PS2 had even less power than the GameCube did. I mean, back then, the PS2 was the least capable of the consoles. I mean, unless you include the Dreamcast, of course. So the PS2 had more horsepower than the Dreamcast, but the GameCube had more horsepower than this did. Well, the PS2 specifically. Enter the ship. Oh, so I can leave? Do I want to go back? Well, I can come back, I believe. Yet, of course, the original Xbox had more horsepower than any of these systems. Okay, we'll stay here. Yeah, we're going to stay here. We'll do another video on the other planet, but for now, let's just stay here. I think we can come back here anytime we want and just kind of farm this place for one-ups and, you know, bolts. So we can go right. Yeah, let's go right. Actually, can I say? I think I automatically saved. Yeah, let's save this anyway, just in case. So I got that save spot at the beginning of the game, and I got this one right now. Okay. So we did all right. This game isn't so bad. This was actually state-of-the-art back in the day. State-of-the-art game design. Alright, so let's check out that map. Well, I saved my game, so if I have to leave the planet, I will. But let's see if I can... How do I get back to where I... Excuse me, sorry. Go back to where I was. I'm curious if there's another way around here. Yeah, this way. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to explore this entire planet if we can help it. Yeah. So that's my somersault. I guess it technically counts as a double jump. I don't know if it gives me any more height, though. That's the problem. Or any more distance. Whoops! That was stupid. Well, back to square one. It's going to be one of those things. Whoops. Okay, I got it. Not yet. I'm curious to know what they actually did to this game. Maybe they just, made it run better. There we go. Map. Guess we'll go back around later. We might that tube of water might take us back here, so that might be the other way to get here. Did I knock that thing into the boxes? That's kind of cute. All right. Map. Let me go back around for a second. Excuse me. See if there's anything. There's nothing else here. So that was a big fat waste of time. Never mind. Remember, it's not that kind of game. It's all about prefetching the next corridor. You know what I mean? Prefetching the next tiny corridor and tiny arena. Memory constraints. Sometimes it's all you need. Tiny arenas with a few enemies in them. Maybe a few obstacles. That's all you need sometimes. I mean, if you did this game today on a PC, you could probably run on a 10-year-old laptop. But this game probably does run on a 10-year-old laptop, but I don't use emulators, so I couldn't tell you how well that works. Oops, there we go. Excuse me. There we go. But yeah, I mean, games like what? Games like Blades of Time run on a laptop now. You can go to Best Buy and get a laptop for $200 and they'll run Blades of Time. That's a 360 game. Think you can't run a game like this? The motion engine garbage? Come on. This isn't complicated. You can probably run this thing on a single-core Pentium chip. You don't even need a dual-core, do you? You probably do need a dual-core, but this thing will probably run on a Celeron these days with Intel HD integrated graphics. It'll run at 480p, but it'll run just like the original game, of course. Darn it. Okay, I can't reach that. Okay, I can't get up there. I might need a helicopter jump. Oh, there we go. Stairs. Very handy. What am I here for again? I'm just exploring. I'm just exploring. Like, what's up there? Like, what's up here? Nothing? Okay, why is this here? It's not supposed to get. Let's go this way. Oops. Anyway, I made it anyway. I thought I had a helicopter jump by now. Maybe I have to come back later when I get one. Yeah, loot. So am I just 100%ing this level? Is that what I'm doing? Just being a completionist? Hey, whoa! Kind of finicky, some of this analog control. Okay, I'll be a bit more deliberate here. My controller's not too bad. I'm just one that want to fall off. Yeah. Requires a tiny bit of finesse. The control is good, but it's not perfect. It's not pixel perfect.
Just say I said, look, the plumber's back. All right.
Right.
Shouldn't you be on one of them escape transports?
Escape transports?
Newsflash, giant robots attacking. The escape transports are taking all the
See, like, the camera work on that's kind of cute. Jostling the camera.
What? He hasn't got enough bullets. Working people have to wait for Captain Quark to save us. Well,
Whoops. This is going to be a problem. This controller keeps going out. I apologize for that.
their ship has got coordinates to a desert planet, too.
An info box. Ratchet, we could use that.
These cutscenes really end abruptly. Actually, the animation's good, but they really are pretty abrupt. They're still good. It's just, editing. Gotta have good editing. And now you tell me. You like this? Okay, I don't want to use that. So I have to buy the info bot. Just a second. Well, I have enough bolts, that's fine. Well, he said we could use it. And he's off. It's a clean sewer pipe. I mean, even the sewers in Ninja Turtle games are clean, right?
We seem to be under attack from the planet's surface.
Relax, kid. It looks like some sort of fireworks display. Probably in your honor.
Whoa, that was close. Ah,
Right down, I can't concentrate.
oh, we've been hit.
An unexpected detour. When we land, I'll see if I can scare up an exhibition for you.
We're not gonna live that long.
Kid, let's amstrike.
Sorry about the mic there.
That guy on the left? That was Skid McMarks. Does he know Captain Quark? I doubt it. He's a pro hoverboarder. Always going off about how cool he is. Looks like he's in trouble. I'll say. I've never seen him look so freaked out.
Okay. I think we're done with this level. We've cleared everything out. Or some stuff. We have to go down the pipe. Let's go down the pipe. Yep, he just went down the sewer pipe. So therefore he showed us how to get out of here. This is a one-way pipe anyway, you know. See, the water's perfectly clean. Looks cleaner than the Seneca Creek here in Germantown. See? Lots of corkscrew level design here. Get you right back to where you need to go. Well, not just corkscrews, but you know. Big loops. Do I want to buy...
Great bargains for you today.
Do I want to buy this? Probably not. We're out of here. I can come back later. I can come back later and get that thing. So we'll save our game here and then go to the next town. Next planet, excuse me. Whoops. No, not yet. Not yet. Exit. Let's save and then get on the ship. Okay. Pause. Option. Save. Load, save, there we go. 2, 1, 2. Alright. So we'll save here and come back later. In fact, well, before we do that, let's just do a little cliffhanger, shall we? Where will we go next? Next time on Ratchet Clank. Oh, a third planet. I'm curious what's on the third planet. Well, we'll head there in a sec. Let's go to Kerwan first. Hopefully we can leave. Blast off. See, I'm glad I went to that extra... I'm glad I went to that extra info bot. It allowed me to open up another planet. Didn't know. Loading scenes. These are loading screens. Don't let the production values fool you. Yeah. Canned animation sequence. I knew this music sounded familiar. This is that music from that radio commercial. Anyway, we'll come back to this.